Hello and welcome to another Anthem update. I'm Dante. Today is the launch of the Anthem VIP demo, and you might have even tried it by the time you see this. We've still got more news coming regardless. An IGN livestream of the demo first, another legendary item discovered, and VIP vinyls revealed. So before I break down some of the new information I want to run through, the general information we got from IGN's first look at the VIP demo. There was a lot in this, but we'll all be playing for ourselves within hours, and I'll do more detailed content on the demo once I'm able to play it for myself. So something everyone is interested in, how much content is in the VIP demo, and how soon can we get a second Javelin. At a basic level we've got 3 missions, a stronghold and free play that we have access to. That should approximately be 6 hours plus of content, depending on how much you want to grind for gear, free play or challenge yourself in the stronghold. Not too shabby for a small slice of the story. As for unlocking the second Javelin, this is about 2.5 missions, which for the sake of the demo content is around 1 hour. I should point out that many of the values in the demo have been boosted, so you will level faster, the difficulty is turned down, and you obtain more currency from certain activities. So in the full game, it will likely be much slower. There are also several other general differences that I'll point out while I'm on the topic. Much of this has been said before, so I'll try to keep it brief. The keyboard and mouse controls are improved on the back of feedback, though not 100% as smooth as the launch versions. The squad UI change is not in this version, and there will be no resets between the VIP demo and the open demo. But BioWare keep hinting that there might be a few additional surprises in the open demo, to get people a bit more excited for launch. With that out the way, let's take a look at some of the Q&A information we learned, then take a look at the content of the demo. Several of these questions have been asked before, but we've got some different answers for many, hinting what we might be seeing in the future, even if many of us already presumed they would happen, such as will there be more Javelins in the future? Usually it's a guarded answer, but today we got this. It's something we're open to after launch if the fans want it, which we already know they do. So what new Javelins do people want to see in the game? Those could be some fun breakdown style videos to make for BioWare. We have some confirmation on the status types. Enemies with resistance to certain types, especially if they deal that type of damage. So trying to freeze frost brutes might not be the best choice. There is also the opposite effect, where some enemies will be weaker to certain elements. Hopefully there is a clear way to figure this out, or we can uncover the reasoning in the lore of the creatures. When it comes to the world itself, you might have noticed near the end of the IGN stream that the fauna was actually glowing, both the vines hanging from giant mushrooms and the water's edge, which is linked to a type of algae that does this in real life. This is tied to the day-night cycle. The amount of light or time of day will change the appearance of regions, altering their aesthetic pretty dramatically. This might also be a way of uncovering additional lore, explorables, or finding hidden areas within the map. This leads into something else that was discussed, something I've been wondering about for a while, and I've had discussions with other content creators on. Due to some of the plans they have, we can expect parts of the open world to change post-launch. I don't mean new areas, but physical changes to the existing map, as new relics flare up, or as certain events take place. This could be linked to story elements and last longer than just a few hours. I suspect these would be tied to cataclysms, storms, or even invasions happening in the world, lasting for a set amount of time. These kind of changes will help keep the world fresh and engaging, introducing interactive story elements, while providing opportunities to test out new mechanics, enemies, perhaps bigger events to happen later on. These would be even cooler if we could determine their outcome, by dealing with them or ignoring them as the community, either making effects worse or better as we lead into the new story content. That one might be too far of a reach though. In conjunction with environmental changes, they will also be adding new characters to the game, quest givers, story arcs, etc. These could be really interesting, especially if our decisions with other existing factions alter how they interact with us, creating a more complex, personalized experience over time. Will make writing lore for them somewhat interesting though. Lastly, on the new content front, one of the big elephants in the room for Anthem, raids. Will we have them? What will they be, and how many players will they be for? With the introduction of the launch bay, the newly added social space, we know they can have multiple characters. How well this transfers over to missions is to be seen. From the stream I got the impression that they are open to the idea of tougher, larger group content. I'd guess either 6 or 8 players if it was to go up. We might even see raids as the first purely endgame activity. It could advance the story in a major way and just open up so many doors for the game. This topic alone requires its own video, so before I start to ramble, I sincerely hope this is in the pipeline already, and that we can see the results within the first 3 months of launch. I'd also love to hear what you want to see from raids. Is 4 players enough? 6? 8? Maybe more? To stop me from going on a rant about endgame ideas, let's take a step back and look at 2 of the missions we'll be playing in the demo. I don't want to flat out spoil the mission for you, so I'm not going to get specific on what we do and what we fight, but I will cover the general story arc we're on. These missions are all for Matthias of the Arcanists, taking place halfway through the story, and earlier than I was expecting, seem to be based around the Heart of Rage, the big event when it comes to misbehaving relics in Anthem. First of all, we learn that the area we play in is actually called Bastion, which is essentially the continent. Doesn't change anything, but it's nice to know. Secondly, this is following on from the Rescue the Arcanist plot point. After saving Matthias, we have retrieved a grimoire for him known as the Elysian Manuscript, which in simple terms is a really old book from when the Arcanists were at their peak, and created the Javelins. It holds long lost information on the purpose and location of relics, many of which have moved on or been buried over time. One of these is linked to a device Matthias has dubbed the Manifold, with the capabilities to amplify and augment objects, including our Javelins. By finding one, testing it and shoving it on our Javelins, we should be strong enough to finally silence the Heart of Rage, and save humanity from impending doom. The first mission, Triple Threat, sees us locating the device. The second, Inverse Fractions, sees us testing it, and the third was missing. But if the logic follows, we'll try using it on ourselves, though I think the Heart of Rage might be a stretch in just the demo. This eventually will lead us to the stronghold Iron Mines, which we have no footage of, yet at least. I did want to bring up one of the enemies we'll be fighting, the Kidnapper Ascari, a giant Scar tank walker thing with its high damage, lasers, and huge amounts of armor. We also got a brief glimpse of where we can go in Fort Tarsus. Only a little footage, but this is later on in the story than we've seen before. We have access to both sides of the Golden Doors with a restored freelancer area, with Haluk and the other members of our crew in their refitted stations, our back route to the bar, which was mostly empty, and the area for the Arcanists, where we'll be talking to Matthias and getting an all-new spoilery cutscene. We won't be getting access to the launch bay unfortunately, due to how recent it is, but we've got a lot of exploring to do. We also got to see a fair bit of action in the Forge, and the most important part of this was seeing coin actually being used in-game. As I mentioned before, the rate at which you gain coin is accelerated slightly, and you are given 100 coin at the start to play with. We got to see Jen, one of the Anthem producers, buying signets. One in particular was an uncommon item costing 25 coin. We don't have context for time, but in this session we saw Destin earn about 5 to 6 coin in the hour or so of playtime. So you're looking at about 5 hours of play for a single uncommon item, and these are accelerated rates. I feel like this might be a little bit slow, but with only a small slice of the game as reference, it's still not much to go on. Is this about what you're expecting in terms of cost and coin drop rates? For examples of the drops, one of the world quests awarded a single coin. Considering these could take 5 minutes, and this was only on normal, we could see 12 of these dropping an hour in the demo, which seems pretty reasonable to me. Though I did see this knocking about on Reddit from one of the Game Changer videos. These aren't final numbers, but things might get expensive. Really expensive. Though we have no reference for real money costs just yet. Lastly, on a topic not related to IGN demo access, Jesse, the community manager for Anthem, tweeted out the second known legendary to drop, from a Game Changers meter. This was another component, but this time for the Interceptor. And funnily enough, it's very similar to something we've been talking about in the comments section this week. A way for the Interceptor to heal while doing melee damage, gaining 20% of its health on melee. Pretty good, considering that's only the secondary effect. It also boosts the area benefit by 40%, another topic we've spoken about before. Apparently, we're getting good at predicting legendary items here. Seeing these types of items, and considering they can stack up, that 3100% bonus health and damage is a little less scary. It's just going to need some grinding on those lower tiers, and a smart use of items to overcome. In addition to this, we had the rewards for the VIP demo revealed, with a blue and black theme, so close to the LMG colours, so close. But these are pretty nice, although not to the levels we've seen from some of the other designs, which is to be expected for a free reward. I tried to cover a lot of information as concisely as I could today, so I apologise if I did miss anything. I really like seeing your feedback on these videos and the topics we cover, so please continue to leave your theories and feedback in the comments section below. Good luck to everyone in the demo, and let me know what coverage you want to see from it. That's it for today's update. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. Provide your thoughts and feedback about anything I've covered, or the format below. You can support the channel by subscribing and using the bell to be notified of future content as it goes live. And until next time, I've been Dante, thanks for watching.